Hi, my name is Cindy, and today we're going to make a fraction garden using our fraction garden gizmo. You're going to plant in this garden the fraction flowers that you already made in the equivalent fractions gizmo. To do our project, you're going to need a piece of cardboard or a piece of poster board that's at least 24 inches wide. I just looked around my house, found a big box, and cut a piece of cardboard out that I could use for my project. On your board, you're going to make some rows that are 24 inches long. I used colored masking tape. You can use just a marker and make those rows. That would work out just fine. The bottom row, I marked off into 6, so I made marks every 4 inches. Top row, I marked off into 4s, so I made marks every 6 inches. First flower I planted on the bottom row was 1/6. Goes in the first mark on the left that I made, and every single fraction that's written on a petal around that center could also be planted there because those are all equivalent fractions. The second flower I planted was 1/3, and you can see that one of the petals shows 2/6, so that goes on that second mark on that bottom number line. The third flower I planted was 1/2, and again you can see there's a 3/6 petal, so that goes on that third mark. And the last one I planted was 2/3. You can see that there's a 4/6 petal, and so it goes at the fourth mark. You can also verify every single one of these using the fraction garden gizmo, which we'll look at in just a minute. Top number line planted 1/4, and it goes on that first mark. Then if you look at that second mark, you're going to see that you could just slide that 1/2 flower right up and it would fit just perfectly there. And you can verify that using the gizmo and also seeing that 2/4 is one of our petals. Those are all equivalent fractions. I think this is going to be a fun activity for your kiddos, and they can use the gizmo to help them. They can do it on their own. They can make more rows. They can make more flowers, whatever they want. They can save their project and keep adding to it as they desire. But I think it's going to be something to kind of brighten their day and give them a little bit of fun with fractions. So now let's take a look at the gizmo and see how we can use it to help us make our garden and plant our flowers. We're all logged in, so click on Find Gizmos, type in Fraction Garden. There's the gizmo we want to look at to help us complete our project, Launch Gizmo. And the first thing we're going to do in the gizmo is to, on this bottom black number line, change the number of marks to 6. Chalky will make between 1 and 6 marks. That's as far as the gizmo goes. Click Go Chalky. Chalky will make 6 marks. We can then use those to plant the flowers. And the first flower we plant is at 1/6, and we're going to plant that on the bottom row, and Blossom does all the bottom row planting. So go ahead and click Go Blossom, and she'll plant a flower there. The next one we did was 1/3, Go Blossom, and there's where 1/3 is. One thing we talked about is that 2/6 and 1/3 are the same. So let's go ahead and see how that gizmo handles this. Let's go to 2/6, and then let's say, okay, Blossom, we want 2/6 planted. Oh, she'll pick 1/3 up and throw it out because that's where she wants to put 2/6. So Go Blossom, and there you go. 2/6 is at the same spot 1/3 was. Next we did 1/2. We'll go ahead and do that. Then let's say we want to guess where 2/3 might go. We've already planted 3 flowers. We want to see if we can guess this. Okay, I'm going to guess that it's going to go right about there. So I drag that little bee on top of where I think 2/3 will go, and then I'm going to change this fraction to 2/3. Then I'm going to click Go Blossom and see what happens. Blossom plants a flower at 2/3, and the bee pollinates the flower, so that means that 2/3 is in the correct spot. If 2/3 was not correctly planted, the bee would not pollinate it. So that's another way to verify that you've picked the right spot. Okay, so now we've done our bottom row. We want to go to the top row, and that's going to have 4 sections, be marked off in 4s. So change the chalk marks to 4, click Go Chalky, and then change this fraction to 1/4. And Bud will plant the flowers on the top number line. And you can do the same thing with Bud as you did with Blossom, as far as equivalent fractions, guessing where a flower should be planted. So that's the gizmo, Have a lot of fun making your fraction flower garden and using the gizmo.